Hanging out in my garage again. This is usually where we change tires. We've changed axles in the Wildcat in here. Did all kinds of things in here.
So we are going to talk about what is coming potentially in patents from like KRX. Also the Maverick R that has just been released. We already have a Pro R. Speed we have on order. We're kind of more or less going to talk about what we think the four big cars are going to do. What one's going to be the best, what one has the most potential as far as pace, suspension, durability, and all of that. So I say we kind of just start off with what car do we think is going to be the fastest car? Go ahead, Bo.
So in a drag race, I think after looking at videos and what we've seen so far on this Maverick R, I think the Maverick R is going to have everyone beat out, flat out, on a straight road, unlike a drag stock.
What do you think?
I would have to agree. You know, we have no clue what the speed key is going to do, so we could be wrong. But yeah, that paddle shifting, I mean, the acceleration on that car is unreal. Now, being that we're kind of this point in the game, Kawasaki could really step it up and bring out a really fast car if they want to compete.
So the tough prediction to me is the fact that this Maverick R looks like it's potentially going to be the fastest car, but speed, if they get this speed key working good and you can get out of the gate good, I mean, you're looking at 300 horse versus 240.
Potentially it could be the fastest car. And I've thought about that too, because your speed key is $1, okay? If you buy a speed car,
everyone's buying the speed key.
The upgrade to the speed key is $1. And it's a 300 horsepower thereabouts tune. We don't know much about it yet. But
we don't know much about the KRX either, but potentially that's looking like a 300 horsepower potentially. They're talking about more or less putting their street bike 4-cylinder motor in there with a supercharger.
It's really exciting. It makes it challenging to go ahead and buy the Can-Am because, you know, when the KRX comes out, you're like,
is that just going to dominate?
Yeah. And in all of these cars, I mean, one thing that KRX could do is they could just say, hey, out the door, you're going to be more like 45 grand. And they could easily dominate just by price, you know?
Yeah.
Because we tried building the car and I think I think after tax, title, license, you're going to be 52 grand on
the mid car,
mid-grade
not the top
model.
car.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're taking, a known motor is kind of what we're thinking. We've got a little bit of a sneak peek preview and some rumors with some patents and stuff like that. It seems like they're going to take a known motor out of like a Ninja or something and supercharge it. It potentially has a lot of horse and on paper may have enough to beat everything. I go off what I can see. The speed key really we haven't seen much at all, if anything.
There's been zero proof that speed key is fast.
But we've seen videos of a Maverick R. That's why I'm saying.
And that is fast.
Yep,
well,
it's fast as heck.
Let's back up here.
And they set that thing up to launch.
Let's back up here.
The only thing that will make us happier is if you liked and subscribed.
Anybody else's heart goes
Holy
Hell yeah.
Did you get him? You got him. Go, go, go.
Desert SXS road trip with the Wolf Pack.
They're doing dune testing with the speed car. And what did Robbie Gordon say it was hitting at the top of the hill?
He was hitting high speed, he said. He was hitting, 65 at the top?
No, I think he said 70 at the top. So that ain't the normal tune.
Yeah.
So I believe that they're testing the speed key out there in the dunes.
I think potentially because he's going to set that up for a 300 horse car, to be a 300 horse car, I think potentially it does have the speed to beat them all, but it's only a 4-banger. Unlike this Maverick R where you got 7 gears It has more or less a launch control setup for it out of the gate. I think that Maverick R out of the gate is just going to walk every car.
Yeah.
But
If
a
you're-
300 horse car
Yeah.
may catch up if that drag is long enough.
Yeah. But in a race scenario, I think right now the Maverick R is the car for a race scenario. And I think that the suspension's technology is really geared for cornering, and it's really geared for that whole shot.
Yeah.
And because, dude, the
It's gonna be a
acceleration
snappy
is
car.
insane. Yeah.
One thing we are kind of forgetting about is we've kind of just forgot about Pro R. We've been driving Pro Rs. We've loved them. We've promoted the snot out of them. Everybody thinks that we're just Polaris rats only because all we've talked about is
Yeah.
Pro R for the last while. Because it's been by far the best car for the last year or two. But we are getting this Maverick R, which I do think it is going to be the fastest car. And I mean, at the end of the day, the X3 is faster than the Pro R. But
On a drag.
On a drag.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is this new Maverick R weighs a hair more than the Pro R. Everybody has complained about weight to power ratio, and
It's essentially the same.
it's almost the exact same
But
weight.
transmission.
But you are getting this transmission with a
Excuse
turbo
me.
setup. It's going to be a little bit quicker. You high elevation people are going to love the turbo versus the NA.
We've already seen one image come out of a mock, upper arm suspension for like a Turbo S or something like
like
that.
a Turbo S or something like that.
So it's kind of funny. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny, but is someone going to come up with an aftermarket suspension kit for the Pro R?
Or is somebody going to come up with something for the Maverick R to get rid of our praying mantis?
Yeah.
Because so many people cannot stand the look of that thing, and they're doubting it. I mean, I had someone post a picture yesterday. Look at all that dirt around
Yeah.
it, as if it's now broken. It's like, well, it's just dirt.
Yeah, it's just
I don't know why
dirty.
dirt destroys anything.
We've seen one ride though with the Maverick R, and so
And
that's
it performed.
and it performed real well. And there's gonna be a lot of shade thrown about the terrain that they went over and stuff like that, and maybe it didn't answer all the questions that we have about it.
I don't think it really answered much of anything, to be honest. The video we have seen of it,
well,
And it's fast.
of the dealers.
It's fast. That's about all we got.
But we weren't. There was no car to compare it
That's correct.
to. Well, we went on a ride just this last weekend, and one thing I thought was interesting. Bo didn't even realize it till I just told him earlier today. But there was our cars, our Pro Rs, his Maverick, his RC, and then there was Austin with the Turbo S, and we did rock crawling, and all our cars had lock, and Austin didn't have a lock for his 4-wheel drive, and his car performed just fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy these cars.
Yeah, if you're getting into the market and you can get your hands on a Turbo S, like, you're gonna have a blast. If you can get and the X3s, the new X3s are such a good price, and they're blowing out the 23s. I mean, they are blowing them out with
Same with Polaris.
great financing options. I think one was below 2%.
It was below 2%,
If
which
you
you
don't-
can't even find.
Yeah.
If you got 25 grand, buy an X3.
I mean, Austin, dealer that he was talking to the other day, he bought his jet ski from, and I think it actually was a jet ski, not a wave runner. That guy hit him up and said, dude, you should come and buy our 22 X3, and the price was unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe what the dude quoted him.
There's a lot of people. I think right now, an X3 is going to be a great deal,
And they're fast.
and they are so fast. It's such a great car.
I mean, if you're looking at power to weight
Now,
ratio, it beats both the Maverick R and the Pro R when it comes to power to weight.
Yeah. Now, one other thing, this could be a little touchy subject, but there hasn't even been 200 speed cars delivered yet. There's up to 200 coming by Sandsport Super Show or early October.
We're looking at a couple of weeks.
I think
September.
one bummer thing is those cars, you're not going to be financing it through Speed. Like you can finance through Can-Am. So Can-Am's like, hey, 1.99% financing. If you go to finance your Speed car that you've had on order when interest rates were 3 and 4%, now you're looking at like 8 to 16%. So, if you like the Speed car, and you're gonna find out, we're gonna test them here very soon.
Yeah, I mean,
if you
Chad's
like-
getting his in, 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, if you like that car and you're paying cash, you're probably gonna be in a good position to get a Speed car pretty soon because you know, people might be looking at that payment like, I don't really want to spend $1,000 a month on my side-by-side.
Especially when you can go buy an X3 that's like a 22 for like 25 grand.
Yeah.
But suspension. What car do you think is going to have the best suspension? Speed, KRX, Maverick R, or Pro R?
So, I think for a track situation out of the box, I still think the Pro R is going to have the best. That's just my opinion. I think the live valve, especially if you get dynamics, 3.0 live valve, I don't think you can beat it.
The thing is amazing.
It's amazing. Now, yeah. So
What do you think?
I think the Can-Am is going to have the better. It's going to be the better track car, only because of the way they built the suspension for the cornering.
Mm-hmm.
So on the track, I think the Can-Am is going to win because of the cornering. Now, as far as comfort and suspension and like just recreational riding and out in the dunes, I don't know. I was watching that car in the dunes, and I think the Pro R is going to be better suspension in the dunes.
I mean, on the track, now that I've kind of gotten to the pace I'm getting to, like the square edges at the pace I'm hitting, like it's throwing my car all around.
Mm-hmm.
I was honestly planning on, when this Maverick R came out, I was expecting a 4-seat to come out. I was planning on buying the 4-seat because I was wanting that longer wheelbase, because my car is getting kicked side to side, up and down, and I have the Pro R with these amazing shocks, and I'm not down talking it at all, but I just think I needed a little bit more wheelbase, and this new Can-Am does have an extra 6 inches of wheelbase.
Yeah. Disappearance of the belt period, I think, is a lot of people are going to go for the Maverick R. Just like, oh, I'm so done with the belt, you know.
Everybody's excited to get rid of that rubber
Yeah.
band. I never had an issue with that. I love the fact that $200 later, I'm back up and running. I'm a little concerned, you know, with that transmission. It's going to be an expensive fix if it breaks.
There's no way.
It's not going to break near as much,
Yeah.
but when it does break, that's going to cost you a lot more than a couple belts.
Yeah.
I believe, and someone's gonna I'm gonna get this number, but I believe the Yamaha was like $4,000 or something to replace the transmission. That's a lot of belts.
That's a ton of
That's a
belts.
ton of belts.
Yeah.
And
these you can switch out in 15 minutes.
yeah, I can't do that in the field, and I can't do it in the garage.
So everyone hated that rubber band. I really didn't hate it. I love the $200. I'm fixed, running again in the field.
Pros and cons.
You know. But we'll just see. I mean, if this thing can last for a long time, then this is much better. We're never doing belts and having to buy belts and dealing with all that.
One complaint that I have about, you know, the going from the Pro R to the Can-Am, obviously the Can-Am is like the next level, is we're getting back into just like production cars. You know, this is like fully enclose the thing and you might as well just register it as your normal car, you know?
Yeah, well, price is getting ridiculous and everything else.
And the creature comforts, and it's got a full infotainment system.
Uh-huh.
It's got a full transmission, just like every other thing out on the road. It's, for all intents and purposes, a car that you're recreating with.
Right.
So durability. What car do you think would be the most durable out of the 4 cars?
Out of the 4, I'm going to say most durable is KRX, given their history.
They just have a great track
They just have a great track record. A lot of that we kind of dog on the speed, but I think...
And it's hard to really say it, though, because, there's no even teasers for this KRX.
Correct.
We do want to put that out there. There's not even a teaser out there, but we've seen some patents, and it's showing, like, hopefully, you know, by the end of the year, because they haven't done a release. Kawi has not done a release on their car, and it looks like this could potentially be their car.
That prediction could just blow up in my face, by the way. I mean, just absolutely blow up. But
it's a whole new car.
It's a whole new car.
Yeah, it's a
The
whole
current
new car.
KRX is tough as hell, and it is.
And it
so
wasn't day
tight.
one.
It's so tight. Yeah.
Like, their first year wasn't like, okay, well, it's your first year, this thing kind of sucks, it broke, it fell apart. No one's saying that. So I'm kind of a little bit more fine saying, I think this will be a very durable car right out of the gate, because they crushed it on day one with the current one.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. I drove that KRX. The thing doesn't make a sound. Like, creature comforts, I don't know about that, but what do you think? Is that going to be your bet, or is it a speed?
The Pro R is so freaking tough, you know. But the speed car out of the box,
durable.
I think it's very durable. It has the best cage by far.
Are you calling that durable then? The cage?
Well, I mean, like the Maverick R, that cage is ugly. Like it makes the car.
So we're going with durable. Now we're
Not
going
durable,
with
not looks.
And it's not as durable. Like all the H frame on the top, it all bolts together. If you're gonna throw on a intrusion bar, it bolts together.
Speed's cage and all that is more durable, but
The
I'm
Speed
more or less
has
going
a-
off
He's
of
talking about like the whole
motor, trans, suspension, the whole entire car.
I think oh man, that's a tough one. I mean,
Overall, what are you gonna have the least
we-
amount of issues?
we don't know about the KRX, but
We really don't know about the
you know,
Maverick R either,
on the Pro R forum,
or the Speed.
everybody's been complaining about all these little things, and I think that's in production. You know, our cars have been pretty durable. We haven't had a lot of issues that people have, but like the 22s, the 23s, and people are totaling them because of the problems. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to go, if we're talking about durability from the factory, and I can kind of see it, I'm gonna go Can-Am on that one.
Can-Am, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I would say motor and trans, that's the one I'm going with. But the rest is kind of where it's like, I kind of lean to KRX as far as history goes. Because none of these cars we're actually driving except for the Pro R.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
currently.
So it's hard to say what one's the most durable. Obviously, we're going to end up driving them all and having them all on the track. But we're kind of just going off of predictions and guessing. And we hope you guys can tell us what you think was going to be the best car. I did forget to talk about, when we talked about suspension on the track, what if we're not on the track? Let's just say we're going across the whoops, like Baja 1000 kind of a thing. What car is going to be the best suspension car?
Pro R. Well,
I'm going with Speed on that.
Speed on the suspension.
I think they're a good straight line car. I really do. It's just going to take a little bit longer to get up to speed, I think, in that car. But I do think just across some nasty whoops. Also, because of that wheelbase is a perfect wheelbase, in my opinion, as far as length goes. And I'm going off of El Jefe, which is a 4-seater, which I also do think the Maverick R 4-seat will do good in that scenario. My only issue with that is this 2-seater is already 6 inches longer than the Pro R.
So you think it's just going to be even more of the limo?
I mean, it's already a limo. Like, we're going to add more to it.
It's going to be stable.
It'll be stable, but
you won't be able to be doing a 35-point turn to get around on the track. There were some things in some videos where it seems like you're getting caught up in whoops a little bit. I talk about that a lot with you guys. You get in some of these whoop situations and the suspension doesn't drop down, and so you're getting that hang up, and it can lead to a lot of diving.
You're seeing that in some videos?
I've seen it in a few of these videos where just briefly. It's hard. You have to slow it down, really take it frame by frame, but I've seen it a few times. So
I've noticed some people are saying it still jumps like the old X3, which it doesn't jump good, which it nosedives.
That's what I said.
But at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like every car can nosedive depending upon the driver, also the jump. I mean, you saw me jump the sand car, right? I mean, I jumped it clean and smooth 5 times. And then one time I was just a hair off on the throttle, and what do you know? I was doing this. So I have a hard time believing that until we've actually put it on our track where there's multiple jumps and multiple different kind of style jumps to know, is this going to jump bad? Because I felt like we thought the X3 jumped bad, but on the track, it's never nosedive.
Yeah. But the
it's
Pro
just a matter of being on the throttle.
The Pro R's by far are the best jumping car
best
that I've ever seen. And these Can-Ams,
but mine always kicks it.
These Can-Ams, they kind of look like this when they go to jump, and then they go like, huh!
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like there's all that unsprung weight, and it's just like, whoa, and then it just.
I can jump the X3 flat, but you have to understand how to hit the pedal. It's a lot easier to do. This is kind of a secret you and I talked about.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do when you're in eco, surprisingly enough.
Oh.
You just have a lot more throttle control. The big negative with the X3 is it's kind of you have all power or no power.
Yeah.
I am hoping with having this DCT transmission, it's going to be a lot easier to negotiate the power and what you're getting, because that's why we're having so many Can-Ams roll on our track.
Yeah.
Is they think they're coming out of the corner about half throttle, and really they're into it almost full throttle, and
when the turbo kicks in, the turbo finally spools, you don't have the delay.
It's gone.
It's gone.
And
you're too late.
Bo's a little bit more cautious driver. He hasn't rolled the car yet.
Not yet, but we've also blown the car up
Close.
a few times. Close.
Close. You have come close.
The car has landed.
The barrel race.
Yeah. The car has landed flat and has exploded. I would rather not continue to fix my car, although we have made a lot of updates to that car.
So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Do you think the Speed, the KRX, potentially KRX coming, or this new Maverick R or the Pro R is going to be the car to have? What one is going to be the best all-around car? Tell us in the comments. If you want to go on rides with us or meet us at our track, get on our Facebook forum or hit us up at desertsxs@gmail. And if you want one of these cool shirts or one of these, the hat will be released soon. But we also have the shirt in black. Go to our Shopify. We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, and it's just below the video usually.
Yep. Is the KRX, Speed, or Maverick R or Pro R, if you could only have one car, and let's just say they all cost the exact same amount of money, you're paying $40K, whether it was this new KRX that may have about 300 horse, or with a supercharger, or the Speed with the Speed key, or this new Maverick R, or the Pro R. 40K, period, flat across the board. What car are you picking? If all of these cars actually come out.
If all the cars come out, money's no option.
Well, it's 40K. You're
right, so
getting one
40K.
40K. All right, that'd be a great price for these cars.
I would love to only pay that.
I'm gonna go with the Pro R because I'm gonna keep my X3.
Well, no, you can only have one car.
Oh, I can only have one car? I don't
Do you
understand
not
the
hear
question.
me?
I took you rid of my car?
It's too hard.
It's too hard.
It's too hard.
One car. One car.
Fine, I'm sticking with a Maverick R then because I like Can-Am.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
Are you gonna pick me next? You're not gonna go?
You gotta go.
I don't know. I want them all.
Yeah, I do, Jim. To be honest, I don't know the answer. That's why
Oh,
I'm
okay. All right.
You
All
put
right.
me on the spot. All right.
Okay.
I was hoping you had an answer.
It could just because it's new. All right. So I'm toggling back between the Speed and the Can-Am right now in my head. Okay. And the Speed, I've got 4 really nice seats. It's safe. It's comfortable. I know it's going to ride amazing. And to me, the Speed is kind of like the Ferrari or the Lamborghini of the group. Like
the unicorn.
It's built from someone who knows off-roading. It's not built from an engineer. It doesn't have any weirdness about it. It's just like pure heritage, you know? So there's like a little bit of
Just nostalgic with it.
nostalgia about that, you know? So I'm probably gonna, if I had to choose one, I'm probably gonna roll up on the Speed.
Okay. I think it would have been the Pro R for me, but I've now had it for 2 years and I'm just like, I want something new.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go with Maverick R. And I probably, honestly, after driving the supercharged KRX, with the KRX potentially coming out, I maybe pick that. But that one is a tough one for me because it's just hard to imagine it's going to be fast knowing KRX. Because their car is just, right now, it's just the dog. Like, it's the slowest car of the class out there, period. And so it's like, it's hard to believe that a KRX is going to be fast one day. But I think it will be if they can get that 300 horse to
Yeah,
it.
they might have something really special planned up their sleeve.
I think they do.
We have already talked about this, and I think that if they do, like, there's going to be a Can-Am Maverick R that Dallin owns that will be for sale, and there'll be a Kawasaki in his garage.
If what we think is coming, where it's going to be 300 horse, and the quality of build that Cowie does,
Yeah.
it'll be hard to resist that. But my only concern is we're complaining about the Pro R being heavy. The new Maverick R is heavy. That KRX is a heavy car.
Can't imagine how much it's
So
gonna weigh.
if the KRX is going to weigh 4,000 pounds, then 300 horse really doesn't do much for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Who knows?
But if they can put all those things together, it'd be hard not to go with the KRX.
Well,
they could make us
yeah.
regret the Speed, the Maverick R, and the Pro R, and just be like, we just need to sell everything and buy that.
Yeah.
If we knew what the engine was and we knew more about it, I think I'd be a little bit more excited. But it could be, we're hoping by the end of the year, but it could be another year. It could be another 2 years out. We don't actually know, but
There's nothing to solidify when. We're just praying that it's in October, because that's what we're guessing, but that's just a hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams.
But YXZ's had some patents out for almost, 5 years now?
Yeah, I hope
and they
that's-
haven't done crap with it. So is KRX going to pull the YXZ move, or are they actually going to step up to the plate with the 3 big dogs and throw down.
You guys all know this. I mean, I held out up until last year. As soon as Yamaha released what they were doing, I was so upset. I was
think this year was worse.
Oh, dude, this year was so much worse. But last year, I mean, I believe I called chat. I was like, I'm over. Like, I'm yard sailing the YXC. I'm done. I'm not going
We never thought you would go out of the Yamaha camp.
I know. I still love that car. But
This guy almost bought one of those Vikings.
Did I? Yeah, I did.
He was like, yeah, man, we had this Viking on the farm. And I'm like, dude.
Stay away.
Stay away.
Like, yeah, get the Viking
So
out
glad
on the track.
we didn't get that, you know, for what we do. My brother-in-law owns a Viking, actually. So
Well, the thing is we-
People are going to be like, what is a Viking?
Yeah.
They're going to get a lot of looks right now, the Viking. But that YXZ, I mean, you throw a turbo on that thing, and man, at the drag races, is it a killer.
Yeah, they definitely have their place in the short course, in the drag races. I mean, they are quick, they are nimble.
And the price. I mean, we're complaining about we're praying that one of these, 4 big cars is going to be 40K because none of them are even 40K.
Yeah.
And that YXZ is like half of that.
That's like the Talon. The Talon is
Yeah.
phenomenal looking car, phenomenal quality. We got to
Great heritage.
give Honda
The Honda
shout-out
people are
for-
getting really upset.
We
that
haven't mentioned
Like, we had the transmission.
It's like, well, you gotta add some suspension and power to that in order to get excited about it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for subscribing.